Prof,
Yes,
can you tell me a little bit about your background?
I got my education in marine engineering back in the 1970s, and I did actually started with a diploma in marine engineering program at Singapore Polytechnic. Started the program in 1976 and graduated in 1980. So as part of the program, the final year was a sea time year. I spent 1 year at sea during my diploma program and started sailing as a cadet in 1980. So after my completion of the diploma program, I continued to sail with the shipping company and rose up through the ranks until I got my chief engineer license, which is the first class marine engineer, in 1986. So continuing with my education, I sailed until 1986, and then I joined the Maritime Academy of Malaysia, and I served them from 1986 to 1997. While I was at the Maritime Academy, I was able to further my studies, where I did my Masters in Maritime Education and Training.
According to your background education, you are once become a first engineer. Can you explain a little more detail your experience?
Okay, when I started sailing as a cadet in 1980, because that time was during the time when I had to learn as much as possible from the engineers on board the ship. So upon completion of my diploma, I started serving the same company which I went for my cadetship, which is Neptune Orient Lines in Singapore, and started working with them as a junior engineer in 1980. And then 1981 became the fourth engineer. In 1983 I was the third engineer. 1984 I rose to become the second engineer, and then 86 I got my chief engineer license. I'm qualified to serve as a chief engineer, but I did not continue my service with the shipping company anymore because I decided to start working ashore at that time, 1986. That's where I joined the Maritime Academy as a lecturer. So as a young lecturer at the age of 26, I started to teach second engineer and chief engineer students. Some of them are even older than me. So it was quite a tough time for me for the first few years. After a few years, the students become younger than me. Then I become more comfortable. Then after 3 years, I was promoted to become senior lecturer. So as senior lecturer, there's more administrative function, helping with the development of the courses and the section, marine engineering section in Alam. And then after another 3 years, I became the principal lecturer. And while I was there in the academy, I was given the opportunity to further my studies in Malmö, Sweden, to do my Masters in Maritime Education and Training. So upon coming back from Sweden, I became the head of the Marine Engineering section at Alam. Then I continued to serve them until 1997. After 1997, I decided to leave the academy at the age of 38. So I made the decision together with some friends to start a private limited company which provides marine engineering services to the shipping industry. We do maintenance services and repairs. We do maintenance of machineries, engines, pumps, compressors, so things like that. And then later on we expanded to extend the service also to the shore-based industry, where we have also provided our services to power plants, water treatment plants, where they have similar machineries. So until today the company is still ongoing. So it's now run by my partners. The company is Valorous Services Malaysia Sdn Bhd.
Okay, so based on your experience as a marine engineer, can you explain a bit more about your achievement?
So I think in terms of achievements, the few that I remember is being selected by the company that I serve to deliver 2 new vessels. So I was sent to Japan for a period of 2 months to see the construction of the vessel, together with a few other engineers, until the vessel was delivered to the company. So the vessel was built in Japan. So that first time when I was the third engineer, and then as a second engineer. So that is I think part of the achievement, and other than that, of course, the ability to be given the higher positions within a short period of time. Yeah.
How about your achievement in your studies?
In my studies, the diploma level, I think nothing much significant. But when I continued my master's degree in Sweden, I think that was also a very interesting experience, enriching experience for me, because we have students from about 100 over countries from all over the world attending programs at that university, and ability to have classmates that are from other countries gives you a wider experience. Because by sharing their experience with us from what they experience in their own countries. And at that particular master's program that I did, I think I was the best student in the class.
For the fourth question, I want to ask about who or what inspired you to achieve the interesting achievement.
I think probably there are a few sources of inspiration for me. First of all, of course, my family, basically my parents. My father was just an ordinary worker. He was serving in the army, from British Army to Singapore Army. So seeing his livelihood, his struggles to bring up the family was an inspiration for me. That is, I know I have to do much better than what my father is doing. So that is also an inspiration. And besides that, my mother, she's also a very competitive person. She comes from a Chinese family background. So that has also inspired me. And otherwise, there are also world leaders. Like for example, for us here in Malaysia, we have those days Dr. Mahathir, who was a very outspoken person. He's a very brave person, courageous. He can speak the truth despite whoever he is facing. That is something that attracted me. If you fight with honesty and about the truth, I don't think you should need to fear anybody. Other than that, of course, other world leaders or past leaders, I think for us as a Muslim, our Prophet, he I think has been the inspiration for many generations and generations to come. That should be always our model, our Prophet, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So other than that, in business also there are some successful leaders, writers, and there are successful entrepreneurs out there in the world that if you read their stories can also be a source of inspiration. People like Robert Kiyosaki, Bob Proctor, the father of management, Peter Drucker, and many more other successful leaders.
For the last, can you give an advice to our friends at the MIMET as a full-time religious?
I think first and foremost, you have already stepped into this world of marine engineering, which provides a whole lot of opportunity for all of you. If you stay focused, of course you have to work hard. Nothing is easy. So you put in the effort and have a focused mind on your direction. Direction means you must have a goal. You must know where you are heading. Otherwise you won't have a direction. You must have a goal first. Just like football. You know where the goal is. So you don't kick back to your own goal. So similarly in your career, in your life, you need to have a goal. Of course, our eventual goal is to be in Jannah. But for this world, you must know where is your goal. Immediately in 5 years' time, where you want to be, what do you want to be, in 10 years, what do you want to be. And also, of course, explore all the opportunities that is there for you. As a marine engineer does not mean you'll be sailing throughout your life. Once you have a certain qualification, certain experience, you can expand yourself and go into other industries or other areas, and even entrepreneurship eventually. So I think entrepreneurship is something that our Prophet also recommends to us. There is 9 doors to wealth in business, and then we are all not looking at that 9 doors. We are all brought up by our family, our parents, our great-grandparents to go to university to study, get your degree, diploma, and then work, become an engineer. Most of the thinking is like that, but we must explore further than that. If there's 9 doors there, why are we going after 1 door? We should be going after the 9 doors. So hopefully I will be able to see some of you to become future entrepreneurs.
InsyaAllah.
Besides your studies, what you come through the university is your formal studies. You need to have your other sources of additional knowledge. It can be on your own or it can be through other providers. For example, on your own, you must, besides reading the books that you are reading for your exams, you must also explore other books. other knowledge, not just the knowledge for the world, but also knowledge for our future world. And you can get this from books. Nowadays from internet, there's so many sources. Or you can also attend special courses outside. When you are working, always save money for your education, because that's not the end of education after the university. You're just starting a different form of education. So continuously grow yourself, develop yourself, and then I'm quite sure then you'll be successful. And you keep on getting knowledge. Successful in this world and the world after. Inshallah.